Hey there, folks. We're just going to quickly start off with a quick review of what you did with Mrs. Krensler on Thursday already. That is going through section 2.3 on polygons. And basically all she really did was just looking at the number of sides a figure has and how that leads to the total number of interior angles. Okay, and so if you notice, I have a four-sided figure right here. Okay, and if I divide that into two triangles by adjoining those opposite corners there, I have two triangles, and the total of the interior angles here is the same as the total of all the angles in both triangles. In other words, 2 times 180. 2 because there's two triangles, 180 because there's 180 degrees in every triangle. And I do the same thing with a five-sided figure. Okay, I divide it into three triangles by splitting it like that. And same thing, total or sum of the interior angles is just 3 times 180, and the same thing goes for the six-sided one on the right there. Okay, so and the equation that you come up with is a little bit different than what I wrote here. Just one second here. The textbook actually writes it as 180 times n minus 2. And that's the way I had it was fine as well, but it doesn't really matter. Fine. So 180 times n minus 2 gets you the sum of the interior angles, where n here is the number of sides. Okay, so for a four-sided shape like a quadrilateral, that would be n minus 2 would be 2. So 2 times 180 is 360. For 5, you're going to use 3 because 5 minus 2 is 3. So 3 times 180, etc., etc. Okay, and though you guys worked on some homework problems with that with Mrs. Krensler, we can talk a little bit about that more tomorrow. But for right now, let's move on to the next section, which is looking at exterior angles. So as the name suggests, an exterior angle is the angle that is on the outside of a polygon, like in the diagram here. Okay, there is a triangle, and you notice I've extended all the legs out a little bit to make this a bit more obvious. Those three angles there are my interior angles, and those three angles I've just added there are the exterior angles. So hopefully you can recognize that those are all related to each other because the exterior angles are on the same line as its corresponding interior angle, its partner there. And so because we're all on the same line, what does that mean? Well, you should be able to figure that one out pretty quickly, but obviously the interior angle plus its partner, the exterior angle, total 180 degrees because those are angles on a line. Okay, and for a triangle, I have three pairs of interior and exterior angles. There's one pair there, another pair there, and another pair there. In other words, the sum of my interior and exterior angles is just 180 times 3. Okay, so 3 times 180 is the sum of all my interior angles plus the sum of all my exterior angles. And that doesn't change for a quadrilateral or any other shape. Look at this example here. Okay, so there for a quadrilateral here, a four-sided polygon, instead of having three pairs, I have four pairs. So it just kind of makes sense that the number of sides you have is equal to the, if you do that many sides, like n, for example, n times 180 is equal to the sum of interior plus the sum of exterior angles. Okay, so that's this formula here just kind of generalizes for any polygon. Okay, well I'm going to walk you through a little proof here of this equation I'm going to show you here. Don't be too concerned if you can't follow it entirely, but just kind of watch what I do here. A little bit of mathemagic here coming your way. Okay, well n times 180 is 180n. The sum of the interior angles, well we had that equation from the last time, right? It's 180 times n minus 2. And then plus the sum of the exterior angles. Just doing a little bit of substitution. I'm going to use the distributive law here now. There it is there. And now I'm going to move everything to the left-hand side except for the sum of the exterior angles. So I'm going to subtract 180n and add 360. And the 180 n's cancel out, and I'm left with 360 degrees is equal to the sum of the exterior angles. It doesn't matter how many sides there are. Okay, so that little equation there is going to come in really handy, and we're going to use that in the next video in an example, and also to look at the homework you did for Mrs. Krensler on Thursday. So check the next video out.